All right, this is the GPT-4 interface, and obviously you can get GPT-4 through ChatGPT as well. That's a consumer version. This is the API, but they have the playground, which lets you, without using any code, prompt it back and forth. And it's a little bit more powerful than using ChatGPT because you can control a few of the other parameters that you don't get as a normal consumer. In order to get here, you sign up for an OpenAI account, and then you go to here, platform.openai.com/playground. And then you have over here, you have chat mode. That's the default, the standard. And then you can choose GPT-4 from here. There's also some of the older models like GPT 3.5 that might be useful in some cases. And then some of these, so GPT-3, for example, has been deprecated. Cool. The main thing you want to know is how does the interface work? So in this case, I'm just going to say, tell me a joke, and hit submit. And this is just like basically the back end of ChatGPT. You're typing, and then the assistant types back. You can say, okay, tell me another one about being stuck in traffic. And then hit submit. See what it comes up with. Cool. And if that's the sort of joke I'm not that interested in, I can do something pretty cool, which is I can change the system message. So I can say, you are Chris Rock, the famous comedian. And then I'm going to get rid of this last message and then hit submit. And here we go. This is much more in the style of Chris Rock, right? You can make some changes here, and it will make a really big difference. The other parameters here, which are useful, like temperature, if you dial it right down here, then hit submit, it's going to give you a pretty boring response. Okay, so that's pretty cold temperature, right? That means less random completions. Essentially, it's more deterministic. And actually, it's not fully deterministic, but if you hit submit again, it's going to give you basically the same answer. Okay, but if you dial up the temperature, it's going to get pretty wild. So we'll see what we get when we do temperature 2. Here we go. Some real hallucination stuff here. So God knows what this has gone into. This is writing some code or something. You really want to control the temperature and not mess around with it too much. I think typically just getting into a temperature of 1 usually works pretty well. I usually keep it between 0 and 1. But yeah, in some cases it might be helpful. If you want to stop it, you can click cancel. The other thing you can do is with stop sequences, you can say if you want to say add hash, and then you could say tell me a joke, and then you could say hash joke, and then hit submit. And okay, yeah, so it's still going to be crazy. But if we dial down the temperature, let's see what it would come back to. Okay, so what the hash does here is if it was going to go and hallucinate and create another joke afterwards, like if you're running into that issue, it would start writing the hash and then realize it needs to stop, and it would. The other thing you can do is if you just want it to be one sentence, you could just put full stop there or whatever it is you need. Cool. Top P just changes the diversity of the nuclear sampling, so basically how many of the options are considered, like the potential options. And then frequency penalty, which is how likely it is to repeat the same line. And then presence penalty is like how likely is it to repeat the same tokens. So it'll get it to talk about new topics. And generally, high temperatures, high frequency penalties, high presence penalties tend to cause hallucinations. The other thing you can do is if you have a template that you like that's getting you pretty consistent, interesting stuff, then you could actually save the results. Here we go. If we click save and then you say a joke, Chris Rock jokes, and hit save. Then now you have that as a preset. You can go through and go back to your most important ones. You could also click share here and can publish the link, and then copy that link and paste it somewhere else. So then other people can see your template and use it if they need to. We also have history here, so you can click on that, this little history thing at the bottom. You can see how much you've changed over time. And that could be quite useful. That's not just in this specific playground, but like all of your playground activity as well. All right, that's GPT-4. It's really good at lots of different things. Has about 8,000 tokens you can put in here, so you can dial it right up. But obviously that includes the prompt as well as the response and the system message. So if you hit this here, it should give you an error. Yeah, here we go. So, play around with it, experiment with the different parameters, experiment in particular with the system messages. I think that makes a big difference. But this is the best model really that's out there at the minute. And it's relatively straightforward to use as well.